And it being Friday, it is Brunch with Bernie. Senator Bernie Sanders with us, our national town hall meeting with the guy that I think of as America's senator, although when I lived in Vermont, I can tell you the Vermonters think he's Vermont's senator, and they're right. He's doing a great job. Senator Sanders, welcome back to the program. Tough times with this hurricane that's hit that ended up in Vermont, it seems.
Yeah, it is. This is one of the worst natural disasters that the state of Vermont has ever experienced. We're looking at hundreds of roads that have been damaged and closed, many bridges that have been destroyed or will need significant repair work. The state's largest office complex in Waterbury, not far from where you used to live, Tom, 1,700 workers go there. It's the nerve center of the state, unusable, and will not be open for quite a while.
Wow.
We got hundreds, if not thousands, of homes that have been damaged. Some certainly have been destroyed, and others just suffering a whole lot of water damage. Businesses that have been wiped out. So yeah, we are into some pretty difficult times. But I want to say also, which is why I love this state so much. I was just out in Waitsfield the other day, and I saw pictures of hundreds of people coming out on the streets. And these are people not just impacted by the flood, people in other parts of the state or other parts of the community coming out, helping to clean up the mess. So people are coming together. National Guard's doing a great job. Police and fire personnel are doing a great job. So, we're picking it up. We're digging out right now, and we're planning, what's going to be happening in the next few months to start rebuilding those communities that have been devastated.
And that's the spirit of America. We've always been a nation of barn builders, of we're in this together. I just don't get this whole libertarian I, me, greed is good thing. It's antithetical to American values.
Well, it is. And it's one thing, like everybody else, I read the papers and you see there's a flood in some other part of the country, and you read 3 lines and say, well, that's terribly sad. People's homes have been destroyed. Then you go on and you read something else. When it hits home, it becomes a different experience. Just yesterday, I was out in a trailer park near Northfield, Vermont, again, not far from where you used to live.
Yeah.
80 trailers, mostly older working-class people. 75 of them have been destroyed. I went into one of them and just, it was horrible. It smelled. No one's going to be living in that trailer ever. And, older people not knowing what's going to happen. They don't have a lot of money, not knowing where they're going to be living. So the point that you're making is that when this happens, whether it's in Vermont or New Jersey or upstate New York, now with Irene, or when it's happened in the past in Katrina in Louisiana, or the terrible tornado that wiped out Joplin, Missouri, what we do as a nation, we come together and we say, hey, fellow Americans are hurting, and of course we are going to be there. That's the definition of a nation. That's what a nation is about. And when you have, some right-wing guys talking about, we don't need FEMA at all, we don't need disaster relief, you just wonder what their concept of what the United States of America is about. And then you have other people say, well, maybe we can provide some help, but we're going to have to take the money away from other desperately needed programs that have one group fighting against the other group. All of us are aware that this country has a $14 trillion national debt and a very serious deficit. And I hope that most of us are aware that the reason that we have that deficit is that we're in the midst of a horrendous recession, 16% real unemployment, caused by the greed and illegal behavior of Wall Street, that we are fighting 2 wars that were begun under the Bush era, which were not paid for at all, that we have a Medicare Part D program written by the insurance companies, and that we have given huge tax breaks to the wealthiest people in this country so that revenue coming into America, into the federal coffers, is at the lowest point that it's been in 50 years. So to say that we're going to balance the budget by ignoring the desperate need of communities in Vermont or New Jersey or New York State or any other part of America when disaster strikes is not what America is about. And I think, Mr. Cantor and the others who talk like this just don't get it.
Yeah, but they're continuing to talk like this, and now Congress is coming back into session next week. What are your thoughts on where we're going to go between now and the election?
Well, I will say, in terms of disaster relief, I just talked to Majority Leader Reid yesterday, and he informed me that he's going to do everything that he can to make sure that the communities in Vermont and the other states that have been hard hit are going to get the support they need from the federal government. I appreciate that very much. As you know, when we reconvene, you're going to have the super committee working on deficit reduction. And the issue here, it's an enormous issue, and people have got to pay very close attention to it. In my view, we can go forward with significant deficit reduction in ways that are fair and that look at the economic realities that are currently facing middle America. And what that means is that at a time when the wealthiest people in this country are doing phenomenally well, when their effective tax rate is the lowest it has been in decades, and Warren Buffett has made that point very strongly, I'm sure, to the consternation of many of his billionaire friends, but what Buffett has been saying is true. When you have large corporations making, in some cases, billions in profits and not paying a nickel in federal taxes, when you have tax havens in the Cayman Islands and Bermuda and elsewhere where companies are quite intentionally, obviously, avoiding at least $100 billion a year in revenue that should be coming into the government, et cetera, et cetera. What we need to do when we talk about deficit reduction is not do it in a way that devastates folks who are old or our children or the sick or the most vulnerable people in this country. You have to do it in a way that is based on justice, which asks those people who are doing phenomenally well to start paying their fair share of taxes. I think we ought to take a hard look at military spending, which has tripled since 1997. And I think, when you get back to disaster relief, I think many Americans find it ironic that we are doing disaster relief and rebuilding communities in Iraq and Afghanistan, but there are some who think we don't have the resources to rebuild communities in America.
I read a news story that Vermont had to borrow helicopters from Massachusetts because their helicopters, their National Guard helicopters, are in Iraq.
That is exactly right. It was from New Hampshire, actually.
From New Hampshire,
Massachusetts. In fact, I was in that helicopter.
Yeah.
We went down around the state, and the governor of New Hampshire was kind enough to lend Governor Shumlin those helicopters. And that's right, because the Black Hawk helicopters belonging to the Vermont National Guard are either in Iraq or Afghanistan. But the point is that as a nation, before we're rebuilding other communities around the world, we should be paying attention to America. The second issue, Tom, yes, what's going to happen when we reconvene is obviously the jobs issue. And the president is going to give a State of the Union or a joint address to the Congress on that issue. I hope, very frankly, that he is bold, and I hope he is willing to lay out a proposal which begins to create the many, many millions of jobs that we need. And we can talk about how, what ideas are out there to do that. Sure. But I hope he's bold.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Senator Bernie Sanders with us. It's our Brunch with Bernie, our national town hall meeting. Senator Sanders will be taking your calls right after this. Be sure to check out his website, by the way, sanders.senate.gov. We'll be right back.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
866-97-THOM, our telephone number, thomhartmann.com, our website, Senator Sanders, sanders.senate.gov. Okay, and we're back. Senator, you're still with us?
I'm right here.
Okay, Richard in Winchester, Virginia, watching us on Free Speech TV. Richard, you are on the air with Senator Sanders.
Oh, thank you. Tom, excellent show last night. You hit every bell.
Thank you.
Senator, it's such an honor for me to talk to you, but to be real quick, in 2003, for the first responders, a bill was passed that said they would take care of all medical problems that these folks might have, except for the fine print, which accepted cancer. Now, the first responders now have a 19% population that has different types of cancer.
Right.
And in that cesspool, there was so much contamination coming up.
Right.
Is there anything that you can do for these people?
Of course.
They need it.
Richard, thanks for asking that question, and I saw that piece in the paper. That what Richard is talking about is a study just came out. Can't remember who did the study, indicating that the cancer rate for first responders at 9/11 was, I think, 19% higher than for an equivalent population. And the answer is, of course. I mean, again, getting back to the issue of what makes us a country. When 9/11 struck New York City, the entire nation was there. No one said, hey, this is New York City's problem alone. But you had within New York City and the surrounding areas thousands of people coming out, putting their lives on the line to go through that horribly toxic environment there to try to find if anyone was yet alive or to clean up the debris and to do what they had to do. And clearly, there can't be any debate on this. We have to give the support, as much support as we possibly can, to anybody who was made ill, cancer or anything else. But I should tell Richard, not so long ago, when the senators from New York State, Gillibrand and Schumer, were leading the effort to try to get some support for the 9/11 responders, they had to fight very, very hard to win over some of our Republican colleagues. But to answer Richard's question, it goes without saying that everybody who put their lives on the line to try to find survivors or do what they could is entitled to all the help we can provide them.
We had on the TV show last week two 9/11 responders who've been one is a firefighter, the other was a police officer, as I recall, or a heavy equipment operator, and they both have cancer now, and both of them discovered this loophole in the legislation that says that emphysema is covered, things like that, but cancer is not covered. And one of them has a throat cancer that's clearly caused by the chemicals that he was. He's got doctors saying this. But is there any chance in the minute we have before the next break, Senator, that this legislation could be amended to include cancer? And is there any momentum to do that?
The answer is yes, and the answer is it should. And it's on my list right now, and I will speak. Generally, on these issues, the senators from New York State have been taking the lead.
Yeah.
And I will convey that to them if they don't know it already, and I'm sure that they do.
Yeah, I would guess so. And these are people from all 50 states who showed up to help out. And although these two guys were actually, I think one was from New Jersey and the other from New York. But Senator Bernie Sanders with us. It's our Brunch with Bernie hour, our national town hall meeting here on the Thom Hartmann Program, and also on Free Speech TV. And we'll be back with more of your questions for Senator Sanders right after this. Be sure to check out his website at sanders.senate.gov as well. There's a great newsletter there, the Bernie Buzz. It's a great news resource, links to his Facebook page and other good, really solid information on how to participate in democracy. Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. It's our Brunch with Bernie hour. Senator Bernie Sanders taking your calls. And Ed in Columbus, Ohio, you're on the air with Senator Sanders.
Yes. Thank you, Senator Sanders, for taking my call. And thank you, Tom. I've watched your show for the last month, and I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I was laid off 2 years ago, and I was able to get a college scholarship from the WIA program, and I want to thank Senator Sanders for supporting that program, the Workers' Reinvestment Act.
Right.
I'm about ready to graduate at Columbus State Community College in electromechanical engineering.
Great.
My question is, what happened to the high-tech positions that when they promoted the community colleges for education, that now it appears that they're paying almost just slightly higher than minimum wage?
For those positions?
Yes.
Well, you're asking, first of all, congratulations
for
your persistence in getting your degree, and we certainly, if there's anything we need in this country, is engineers. We don't have enough, so thank you for what you're doing. You're raising a question, I think, that millions of people worry about every single day, and that is that in many parts of the country and in many industries, we are seeing wages for workers go down rather than go up. And the question that you're asking touches on what Tom and I would suggest is a race to the bottom. Among many other things, we have trade policies which have enabled corporate America to shut down in this country and to go abroad, and then to say, well, to workers, if you don't take pay cuts or pay more for your health insurance, we're also going to go to China or Mexico or someplace else. So you're seeing in manufacturing in general some really horrendous stories about wages plummeting. I often talk about in Detroit the good news being that the automobile industry is rehiring. Bad news is that you have some workers there are making 50% less than what other workers doing comparable work are doing. So you've raised an issue, and that is that not only are we dealing with 16% real unemployment, we're dealing with millions of workers who are seeing their wages going down or the jobs they're getting paying less than what people were earning a few years ago. So it's an issue dealing with trade, rebuilding our manufacturing sector, helping develop trade unions in this country to stand up and fight for workers. But you touched on a very, very important issue.
Jim in Seattle, you're on the air with Senator Sanders, and thanks for listening to Talk 1090.
Hey, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be on with you. Bernie, let me make a point here, and then I'll throw my question at you. As you mentioned and Tom has mentioned, a lot of millionaires and billionaires are getting richer, but the economy's in the tank right now, and just like the last call, wages are being lessened. Okay, you've got the transportation bill coming up. You've got the FAA negotiations coming up. You know the Republican/Tea Party are going to demand to break the unions in these contracts. Do you guys have anything planned to combat them if they try this? What can be done to withhold the positions where the unions can sustain with the FAA and with the transportation bill coming up?
Well, Jim, what I can tell you is that I will work as hard as I can with the unions to make sure that workers get all of the rights that they are entitled to. We had an absurd situation recently where the Republicans wanted to maintain a situation where you had you needed a majority of the entire shop rather than a majority of the workers voting in the election, which makes no sense at all. So all I can tell you, Jim, is that the issue of protecting union workers, the issue of making sure that workers do not see decline in their wages is of enormous consequence. I have not been supportive of the president putting a freeze, for example, on all federal employees not getting wage increases for 2 years. Maybe if you're higher income guys, that's okay, but certainly not for your lower income people. Not only for federal employees, it sends a signal to the private sector that they don't have to raise wages as well. So, Jim, we'll be there working with the transportation unions on the issues that they're fighting on.
Paul in Newcastle, Colorado, you're on the air with Senator Sanders.
Yeah, hi, Senator Sanders and Tom. My question is, as a result of the Ponzi schemes and the swindle by Wall Street and the large banks, a lot of people lost their homes and their retirement and whatnot. And it seems to me that's a heavy liability on the groups or people that did it. And why doesn't a large law firm take up a lawsuit for the people that got screwed and go after the very groups and people that screwed them? It seems to me that it's a liability that should be put right back on the burden of the people that screwed them. That's my question.
And I think it's a very good question. If you look at the front pages of the papers today, yesterday, you're going to see that the federal government is beginning to go after some of the large banks who essentially were dishonest about the securities that they were selling to the public, and that's a good start. We'll talk about that, I guess, after the break.
Okay, we'll pick it up on the other side. It's 27 minutes past the hour. We're talking with Senator Bernie Sanders. It's our Brunch with Bernie hour here on the Thom Hartmann Program. Your opportunity to participate in the National Town Hall meeting with Senator Sanders. 866-987-THOM, sanders.senate.gov.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
And, of course, you can drop into our live chat room over at thomhartmann.com. It's free. There's no cost. Just the same as all the great stuff over at Senator Sanders' site, sanders.senate.gov.